I'm Derek Fox, and today you'll be learning about tectonic plates. Tectonic plate is a piece of the lithosphere or crust that sits on top of the asthenosphere. You can think of the relationship such as crackers sitting on top of a giant ball of peanut butter. Here, these blue lines represent plate boundaries, that is, where two separate tectonic plates meet. There are three types of plate boundaries. There's divergent, which means that the two plates are moving apart from each other. Convergent, which means the two plates are coming together. And transform, which means that the two plates are moving side by side, either in opposite directions or vastly different speeds. This is a divergent plate boundary. Here you can see the lithosphere and the asthenosphere and how it is moving apart. Whenever this happens, if it is in the ocean, it will form a mid-ocean ridge. The most famous of these is the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, more commonly referred to as seafloor spreading, which represents North America moving further and further away from Europe and getting closer and closer to Far Eastern Asia. This is a divergent plate boundary. Now there are three types of this actually, even though two are illustrated here. There is continental crust and oceanic crust. So when continental crust collides with other continental crust, it forms a mountain, such as in India, where it collided with the rest of Asia to form the Himalayan mountains, home of Mount Everest. When oceanic crust collides with other oceanic crust, the heavier and older of the two will go underneath into the asthenosphere, melt, and fragments of the earth will come up in magma form to form a volcano. This is how the Japanese islands were formed. Now what happens when continental crust combines with oceanic crust? Well, it's actually very similar to this here, except the oceanic crust will always go underneath the continental crust. The third and final type of plate boundary is transform. This orange line represents the San Andreas Fault in California. And this type of boundary represents the most hazardous in the forms of earthquakes, because with the land moving this way and that way, it could catch on each other very easily and form stress, because the plates are still trying to move, but they cannot. And eventually they will snap and cause large tremors. That concludes the basics of plate tectonics. Here are the credits for the pictures that I used.